why I wait with sex. I don't know where to start. It feels very vulnerable again. I'm very naked to share this topic about myself. However, I do feel the need to share this because it gave me a lot of insights and it helped me tremendously within my life to wait with sex. So where this started is, especially as a single, I was not only longing for the love, but also for the physical, intimate part as a single with men. And that besides the love, I needed the physical contact. And what I experienced is that I thought that sex with someone, even though it wouldn't be a partner, would solve my longing or need for the physical part. However, what I experienced was that I felt actually more empty after being intimate and having sex with someone than before. What I realized was that most of the time when the man left after having sex, is that I felt a huge emptiness inside of myself and actually even a deeper longing for love. And I think a lot of women can relate to this, and maybe even men. I'm very curious if men feel this as well, like if they've been in contact with someone but I'm gonna talk about myself, maybe that's better. What I realized for myself is that when I share this part of myself with someone, that in that moment, like our bodies are creating oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, and immediately, especially for me, is that I feel hooked and that I long for more. And when I had sex with someone, and I've never been for a one-night stand. Most of the time it was more about someone I saw more regularly. But what I realized is that when I was having sex with that person, the part of love was missing. And it was never really fulfilling. And especially when that person left, I felt more empty than ever. And it was several years ago that I decided to stop this, and that I decided to not have sex anymore with someone who's not providing me with the safe space and the security that that person wouldn't come just for the sex. And I've shared this more often in my former vlogs, that when that I had intimacy with men. You see, I have a very difficulty saying all this because it feels very, very naked about myself. What I did was that I gave my sexuality in the hope to receive love in return. And I tried to perform the best as I could in the hope that the man would come back to me. And often they did, but they didn't come from a place of love. They came for sex. And I realized that when I give this part of myself too quickly or to the person who's not worthy, then the sharing for me was not feeling right. And I truly admire the people who can have sex without the feelings or with the feelings and are capable of letting go of each other afterwards and just be blessed with the experience. However, for myself, and I think I can talk for many other women, is that when I was intimate, that I always longed for something more. I always longed for an extension of the experience, another meeting, another moment of intimacy. And actually, deep down, I was longing for love. And so 2.5 years ago, I stopped doing this. And when I was dating after that with a man who was very tantric, it was my first experience with Tantra. I didn't want to have sexual intercourse, but it was funny that after a few times of meeting each other, that he didn't want to have that as well. For me, that was really strange to see that a man didn't want to have intercourse. But what he showed me was a totally different experience of intimacy. And from that moment, I knew that there's so much more to explore than just to have like the pornographic sexuality, what we are conditioned with or what we taught to do. So bit by bit, I started to see like, okay, if I want to, especially like the intimacy part is very important for every human being. In what way would I be able to accept intimacy without the need to hold on or to attach to someone? And I've tried to explore with different things, but what I realized is that if that person is not coming again the day after, till what stage can I give myself? And I've seen that I can give a limited amount of myself, but that limited amount is like fully open to receive and to give. But what I don't do is like the sexual intercourse with someone who doesn't provide me the security. And yeah, I know a lot of people who do this, and I'm truly happy for them if they're capable of having this with each other without feeling bad or hollow or anything from the inside. However, I couldn't do it anymore. So for 2.5 years now, and that's quite a long time, I decided with new men that there is more to explore. There is so much more in intimacy, in physical touch, just by like even like your skin can get extremely sensitive. And tantra and embodied intimacy and all these kind of practices have taught me that I can receive intimacy, sensuality, sexuality in such a different way. And there is not necessarily sexual intercourse needed to feel fulfilled. And this is a huge opening for me to really see, okay, this is okay. And before I was fooling myself that with the sexuality, I would at least be happy with the physical part. But I see now that if you can have intimacy for each person that's different boundaries, like then at least I said that if I would be single for 10 more years, then I would be okay if I could have intimacy to a certain level or sensuality to a certain level. However, I decided that to give my most precious gift, or the only thing I own in this life, is my body, that I decided not to give this to a random person who I have a great connection with. I want to feel good, and I want to have the understanding, if I give this part to myself, that we get to know each other in different ways before. And as I said, Tantra for me is such a beautiful way of exploring the physical body and the energetic body in a different way, and to learn how to use this sexual energy in a different way than I was used to before. And you can read all different kinds of things about it. Like Tantra has so many different ways, from like very innocent intimacy, or it's actually more the energy within yourself, how to use this energy. However, there's also Tantra where you have explorations with multiple people and you name it. For each person, there's something else. The only thing what I saw for myself is that I had to stay true to myself, and to be true to myself was to say no to that part. To say like, okay, this is something I want to give to someone where I feel safe with. And yeah, I hope you can relate to this, or at least recognize something from yourself in this. And I'm really curious what you think, because sexuality is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I love sex like everyone else. But this for me is a huge opportunity to grow in so many different levels of sexuality and sensuality, that this whole journey of not having sexual intercourse opened up a new path of exploration within myself and in connection to the other. Please tell me your story about this, and if you feel like, okay, maybe I'm in trying to stay in control or something, which might be true, let me know, because I would love to hear your side of it and your view on it. And this is my story. As you noticed, I've been stuttering because this is very, very naked for me and very difficult to share, because I can feel that that it's a debatable subject, and probably that's why I was more nervous than other vlogs before. But I thank you for watching again, and I hope to see you again next week. Thank you so much. Ciao.